How are we doing, everybody? I'm at the Biophysical Economics Conference 2016 in Washington, and today we're going to do a special impromptu interview of Jurgen Mimkes. He's with the physics department of Paderborn University, and his talk was on calculus-based bioeconophysics, a synthesis of social and natural sciences. Your point was that love can be measured in SI units.
Yes.
Okay, can you explain to everybody how that went from Goethe into physical chemistry?
Well,
and now talk about how, tell us Americans, how we went from Empedocles to Goethe to some of your work where you cite Empedocles and Goethe, and then you go into your thermodynamic formulations.
Okay. Empedocles from Agrigento. He was, I don't have the dates now exactly in my mind.
1450
yeah, 1450 BC. He said, people that are friends mix like water and wine, and enemies separate like water and oil. So he was the first one to explain social interactions by chemical interactions between water and oil and water and alcohol. So this is actually the first one who started this. And this theory was long forgotten, and Goethe found this by chance by his studies, and he thought this is a brilliant idea. He was actually trying to understand chemistry, and he thought he knows quite well about social systems because he had much experience with social people. And he
show people the book at home. I'll zoom in on you.
He said, well, I know very well how people react, and now I can map this to chemistry. And then he said, okay, I will write a chemical novel where two agents or two couples meet like two agents in chemistry meet, like hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide.
Yep.
And they meet, and at the moment where they meet, they start separating, and each one takes one of the other and forming sodium chloride and forming water, H2O.
Okay.
And in this way, he said, people also react in the same way. They also have these affinities, and there must be also an attraction between different people, not only between men and women, but there must be for special people, there must be a special attraction, higher attraction, like in chemistry. So he applied the idea of Empedocles that that the behavior of people can be explained by chemistry in his novel, Die Wahlverwandtschaften. And so very many people love this idea very much.
How do you say it in German?
Die Wahlverwandtschaften.
Die Wahlverwandtschaften.
Verwandtschaft is relationship.
Yeah.
Wahl means to choose or election.
So Goethe believed that model scales up to social interactions, and you believe the same thing.
Yes, and I think we can really apply these laws to people. This is the barometer equation that tells you then about the distribution of income, of energy for the atom.
Where exactly you're talking about bonds here, chemical bonds, is that correct?
No, this present talk, I can go all through this, and here I come to societies, and here I come to politics. And I can talk about financial markets, that is like statistics and roulette. And then I go to societies, and then I have homogeneous societies, I have hierarchies which are collective, we have democracy which is individual, and we have global state which has no bonds. This corresponds to solid, liquid, and gas. So they are
which one is liquid?
The liquid is the democracy, the individual phase.
And then solid is which one?
And the solid is the collective phase.
The hierarchy would be an example.
The hierarchy is an example.
What is an example of society you have in mind? Rome or something?
There are many hierarchies. There is an army, it's a hierarchy. is a very collective state. Every soldier has to do what the general says, and you can't move one step further than he says.
Okay.
And that's like a solid. If you move the solid, all atoms have to move that way, and nothing else can happen.
And then which one is a gas?
And the democracy is clear. This is the individual things like liquid. They still go together, so they form states. But in a hierarchy, the Pope stays his life, and a ruler, a king, rules all his life. So there's no change. Whereas in democracies, we all still have kings, we have presidents. But they rule only a short time because, like a liquid changes always permanently. So there are still attractions because that makes liquid, but they are not collective, they are individual movements. And then there's the global state, the gas state. Well, look at the rich people who have no bounds to any state. They live on the Virgin Islands or they live somewhere. They don't want to pay any taxes, they all do by themselves.
Just
so they're not bound.
To give you, to compare your model to Mirza Big, so he has his something that's different. He models slums as the gas state. He models inner cities, like middle cities, as the liquid state, and he models the metropolises as the solid state. So it seems to...
Yes, there is something true to this. I would also say companies...
See how he has this is the Gibbs energy initial state, activation energy, and this is the change in society to final state.
This is actually companies. Companies, you have no... you are not able to do any individual things. You have to do what the company's rule is. So companies in cities are very strict on rules, whereas in a liquid you have open countries where you can decide where people can decide.
Just to speak about the gas phase, you say the richer the gas phase, but he says the slummer the gas phase.
Yes, this is what we would call in the gas theory of gases, we would call the... I can show this to you
sure.
On the table. Here's the critical point. Here is P. Here is T. And here is high pressure.
You're talking about the triple point?
Yes. Under, you have here at high pressure you have the liquid, and at high temperature here you have the gas phase, and this here is the phase that is, it has a special name. There is an equilibrium between liquid and gas.
How do you understand that in terms of sociologically?
Well,
like a liquid.
This is actually what I'm trying.
So where would be an example in society between liquid and society? You would say the democracy and the rich represent the phase diagram.
I have to look at my paper. I have a.
Okay, just think it over. But while we're on the topic of Mirza Big, do you think you could say, just hold his book up and give us your opinion of his work if you think it's a viable teaching, a viable way to go about sociology? Because you've read. Tell us about how you learned about him and what you're. Just if you.
I have to. I mean, this is the nice, and this. Yeah, this is exactly the way I do it. From order to liquid, this order to extreme. This is the gas phase. This is correct. Everything. And the yes, this is all the way I work it. On this.
So his work is similar to yours.
Yes, it is very similar to mine.
Because at the end he uses the. You can see he uses the free energies. He's one of the few people who uses stochasticity too.
Yeah, I will just look. No, these are the reactions. Yeah, he has also then these transitions. This is also right. Yeah. This is now this. Yeah, this is the yeah, this is now the phases of water. You have the liquid, Yeah, you have the solid, you have the gas, and you have the vapor. That is called the vapor phase.
Vapor phase, okay.
It is the vapor phase and not the gas phase.
So where do you see vapor phase in societies?
Yeah, this is
What's
what I
in between
think.
the democracy and
No,
the
this
rich?
is this function. This is the vapor
Oh,
phase.
okay.
This is the vapor phase. Because they are poor, they are still here at low temperature. The vapor phase is at lower. If you have the high temperature, then you have the gas.
Oh, okay. I see.
And here you have the vapor phase. And this is the low and income is the vapor phase. This should be vapor.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, that was a name I was not, sorry, I just...
No, that's no problem.
Oh.
Yeah, you did.
Okay?
You did good.
Now we understand this.
Yeah.